Welcome to Selected Scorpion YouTube channel. We are going to introduce top 10 more killer stadiums. Number 10. Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, 1982. A crush developed at the end of a UEFA Cup match between Dutch club Haarlem and home team Spartak Moscow on October 20, 1982, but Soviet authorities kept details of the tragedy secret for 7 years before revealing in 1989 that 66 people had been killed. Others put the death toll closer to 340, making it even worse than the Lima disaster, according to the witnesses who were interviewed during the investigation. One of the fans fell at the lower steps of stairway 1. A couple of people also stopped, trying to help the fan in need, but the moving dense crowd on the stairs, limited by metal banisters, crushed them down. People began to stumble over the bodies of those who were crushed in a domino effect. More and more, mostly teenage fans, were joining the crowd on the stairs, trying to push their way down and unaware of the tragedy unfolding below, which caused a pile-up of people. Number 9. In 2012, a local match in Port Said in Egypt descended into rioting. Over 70 people died and hundreds were injured. 73 defendants, including 9 police officers and 2 officials from Port Said's Al Masri club, were charged in the aftermath of the riots. As of February 2017, 10 defendants have been sentenced to death and 26 have been acquitted, including 7 police officers and an Al Masri club official. Of the remaining 37 defendants, 10 received 15-year prison terms, 9 received 10-year sentences, and 16 received 5-year sentences, including the remaining 2 police officers and an Al Masri club official. 1 defendant received a 1-year sentence and a retrial has been ordered for a defendant sentenced to death in absentia in June 2015. As is a result of the riot, the Egyptian government shut down the domestic league for 2 years, which affected the Egyptian national team. The case was archived, with still no explanation for the events. Number 7. Guatemala City, 1996. Tragedy struck on October 16, 1996, even before a World Cup qualifier between Guatemala and Costa Rica got underway at Guatemala City's Estadio Nacional Doroteo Cuauhtémoc Flores. At least 82 people were killed. The Guatemala national team was set to face off against Costa Rica on a Wednesday night in Guatemala City. Approximately 60,000 fans, most dressed in blue and white, the country's traditional colors came to the stadium, which has a capacity of only 45,000. Apparently counterfeiters had sold thousands of fake tickets to the event, although the stadium was already full to capacity about an hour before the match was scheduled to begin. Fans continued to push their way into the venue through a narrow passage. As those in front of them had nowhere to go, people began to be crushed and suffocated. Fist fights that broke out in the crowd exacerbated the situation, which ended in a panicked stampede. Guatemala President Alvaro Arzu witnessed the chaos from a box seat and called off the match. However, it was too late for 82 people, including many children. The bodies of the victims, some with their clothes torn off, lined the grounds of the stadium afterward as scores of injured received medical treatment. Pope John Paul II sent a message of condolence to the relatives of the victims. President Arzu declared 3 days of national mourning. If you interested of this type of video, please subscribe channel, and we hope you like will. You can write in comments that which actors or players you want to know about him. I will try to make video. Number 6. South Africa Soweto Derby between the Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, which saw stampedes on 2 occasions, killing 42 people at Orkney's Oppenheimer Stadium in 1991, and 43 more at Ellis Park, Johannesburg, Indiana 2001. On January 13, 1991, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates met in a pre-season friendly at the 23,000-seater Oppenheimer Stadium, but reports say at least 30,000 were let into the venue. They were not separated, and when Chiefs were awarded a dubious goal, Pirates fans reportedly turned violent, attacking rival supporters. This caused a stampede that left 42 people dead. On January 13, 1991, there was a pre-season friendly association football match between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. The stadium had a capacity of 23,000, but about 30,000 fans were admitted and were not separated, according to the team they supported. The referee upheld a goal scored by the Chiefs, and supporters of the Pirates objected. Pirates fans threw cans and fruit at Chiefs fans, and allegedly some knife-wielding Pirates fans attacked Chiefs fans. In the stampede, panicking fans trying to escape the brawls were trampled or crushed to death against riot control fences. On April 11, 2001, the 60,000-seater stadium in Johannesburg was already full to capacity for the Soweto Derby between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, when an estimated 30,000 additional fans tried to force their way into the venue. This caused a crush in which 43 people, including children, were killed. The situation was reportedly exacerbated by police firing tear gas towards the surging fans. The incident caused a raft of changes in terms of ticketing and crowd control at South African League matches. Number 5. Ibrox Stadium, Glasgow, 1902 and 1971. The double, the home of Scottish club Rangers FC, has the dubious distinction of being the site of 2 disasters. The 1902 Ibrox disaster was the collapse of a stand at Ibrox Park in Glasgow in Scotland. The incident led to the deaths of 25 supporters and injuries to 500 more, during an international association football match between Scotland and England, on April 5, 1902, with the crowd estimated to be over 68,000. The match was the first time that the ground had been used at more than half capacity since its opening. Scotland entered the game needing only to avoid defeat to win the British home championship title. During the first half of the match, a section of the newly built West Tribune stand collapsed, dropping between 200 and 300 people to the concrete floor below. 2 spectators were declared dead at the scene, and a further 23 died of injuries sustained in the incident soon after, the last victim dying 3 weeks later. The teams resumed the match, which ended in a 1-1 draw, although both the Scottish Football Association and the Football Association later agreed that the result should be voided. The 1971 Ibrox disaster was a crush among the crowd at an Old Firm football game, which led to 66 deaths and more than 200 injuries. It happened on January 2, 1971 in an exit stairway at Ibrox Park in Glasgow in Scotland. It was the worst British football disaster until the Hillsborough disaster in Sheffield, England, in 1989. The stadium's owner, Rangers FC, was later ruled to be at fault in a sheriff's judgment on one of the deaths. Rangers did not dispute this ruling, and was sued for damages in 60 other cases brought by relatives of the dead. Number 4, Dasarath Rangasala Stadium, Kathmandu, 1988. A violent hailstorm during a match between Nepalese and Bangladeshi football teams, on March 12, 1988. An estimated 93 people died in the stampede. Approximately 30,000 people were watching the game between the Nepalese home team Janakpur and Mutijada of Bangladesh at the National Stadium. A storm approached quickly and hailstones began pelting the spectators. When the fans panicked and rushed to the exits, they found the gates locked, apparently to keep people without tickets from entering the stadium. As fans continued to push forward toward the exits, there was no space for them to go. The victims of the stampede, unable to breathe, were literally crushed to death. Number 3, Hillsborough Stadium, Sheffield, 1989. Amid a series of deadly UK stadium disasters, overcrowding during the match between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest led to fans being crushed against stadium barriers. 96 people were killed and 766 injured. Even today, Liverpool FC players still wear jerseys with the number 96 on their collar, in honor of those killed. The Hillsborough disaster was a fatal human crush during a football match at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield on April 15, 1989. It occurred during an FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest in the 2 standing-only central pens in the Leppings Lane stand allocated to Liverpool supporters. Shortly before kick-off, in an attempt to ease overcrowding outside the entrance turnstiles, the police match commander David Duck Enfield ordered exit gate C opened, leading to an influx of even more supporters to the pens. This led to a crowding in the pens and the crush. With 96 deaths and 766 injuries, it has the highest death toll in British sporting history. 94 people died on the day, another person died in hospital days later, and the final victim, who had been put into a persistent vegetative state by the crush and had never regained consciousness, died in 1993. The match was abandoned but was restaged at Old Trafford in Manchester on May 7, 1989, with Liverpool winning and going on to win the FA Cup. If you interested of this type of video, please subscribe channel, and we hope you like will. You can write in comments that which actors or players you want to know about him. I will try to make video. Number 2. Ahenijan Sports Stadium, Accra, 2001. During a league game on May 9, 2001, between Ghana's top two football teams, Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko, angry fans began throwing objects onto the pitch, and police responded with tear gas. It took the lives of 127 people, making it the worst stadium disaster to have ever taken place in Africa. 6 police officers were charged with 127 counts of manslaughter. The court ruled that the prosecution had failed to make a case, and that the asphyxia may have been caused by the stampede and not the tear gas. Following the event, Ghana's president, John Agyekum Kufuor, called for 3 days of mourning. The Ghana Premier Football League suspended play for a month. Since 2001, corporations and philanthropists including former Asante Kotoko chairman from 1999 to 2003, Herbert Mensah, have memorialized this tragedy with a fund, the Stadium Disaster Fund, and a series of events in Kumasi. In 2016, an annual Memorial Cup football competition was created. Mensah has appealed to the government to memorialize that May 9th, to no agreement. In 2017, the memorial events were themed, Embrace the Day. A bronze statue was erected outside the stadium, of a fan carrying another fan to safety with the inscription title, I am my brother's keeper, in honor of the victims of that tragedy. Fans who attend matches at the stadium now chant, Never Again, to remind themselves of that day. Number 1. The Estadio Nacional disaster of May 24, 1964, also known as the Lima football disaster, is to date the worst disaster in association football history. It occurred during a game of Peru versus Argentina. During the match, there was an unpopular decision given by the referee. Outraged, the Peruvian fans decided to invade the pitch. Police retaliated by firing tear gas into the stadium crowd, causing a mass exodus. The deaths mainly occurred from people suffering from internal hemorrhaging or asphyxiation, from the crushing against the steel shutters that led down to the street. Panicked fans tried to flee but found the exit gates closed. An estimated 328 people died in the resulting crush. Many in Peru believe the death toll was much higher. If you interested of this type of video, please subscribe channel, and we hope you like will. You can write in comments that which actors or players you want to know about him. I will try to make video.